I'm Chris.
And I'm Charles, and you're listening to
Blurred Boundaries.
Okay. So, this is Blurred Boundaries podcast, and my name's Charles, and
My name is Chris.
this is something that we've been wanting to do for a while. We've been talking about it, I think, for probably about a year.
I'd say at least a year.
About a year. And we finally had the means and
time
to try to put something together. Not putting too much pressure on ourselves.
Yeah.
Except for the introduction. Hope you guys like that, by the way.
It took a lot longer to make than it should have.
Absolutely. But no, we wanted to do this, and there's a lot of things that Chris and I talk about. We are very
opinionated.
We're very opinionated, but we respect each other's opinions a lot. It doesn't make him less of a person for his opinions. Doesn't make me less of a person for my opinions.
I don't respect you any less for yours.
Yeah, so I think that's why I think this will work pretty well.
Well, see, that was pretty much the why we started this.
Yeah. We are new, so want you guys to go to our website, blurredboundariespodcast.com. You got links to our Facebook and Twitter accounts there. We also have a menu icon that you can find all of our podcasts posted up on various podcast sites. You can follow us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, such as that. Got a couple more on there, so you can really follow us on your favorite platform. Don't forget to like, share with your friends if this is something that you find interesting or entertaining.
Hope you find it interesting.
Yeah, hope so. We are going to be doing taking suggestions for new topics, new challenging topics. If we use your suggestion, then we'll shout out to you in one of our podcasts. And you could even be featured in one of our podcasts along with us, and everybody can hear your opinion as well.
Yeah. Because, that was the entire idea behind this, is just to start creating more dialogue and more opinions being out and open, no matter what the opinion is.
And this is, I hate to say it like this is a safe space for your opinion to be respected.
I hate saying it like that.
I hate safe space, but the fact is that everyone's so afraid to say what's on their mind. Everybody's so afraid to speak their mind, to speak their opinion, because they're so worried about offending someone else.
It's just the way America is so offended nowadays is a serious problem. No matter if you're left, right, center, unicorn, leprechaun, whatever you want to call yourself, everyone's offended and afraid of offending somebody else.
And so we actually have, these are structured. We're not just doing these on a whim. Something that we've been talking about, and again, we've been talking about doing a podcast and stuff like that for about 6 months, really. But for
actively 6 months.
Actively 6 months, we've been kind of serious about it. But before that, we had just joked around about it. One of the main things I think that we've talked about was offended America.
Yeah.
It's like, there's so many things out there, and I'm sorry, I got a lot more to do with my time than to be offended at somebody calling me a name, somebody treating me a certain way. I've got my own personal stuff going on rather than focus on that and let that drive my lifestyle.
I feel like that should be everybody's take on it. I have too much to do throughout the day to take the time out to be offended by something that will not affect the rest of my day.
See, but it's easier said than done.
It is
easier said than done. And I understand that, some people can say things that will wind up rubbing you the wrong way. It's going to happen.
Well, yeah, it's one thing to be offended and moving on with your life versus being offended and staying in that offended moment.
Yeah.
Like, don't hold on to it. Just, all right, yeah, that sucked.
But you also can't be afraid to approach somebody. Like, if you have something, especially something important, whatever like that, you cannot be afraid of going to somebody and then sugarcoat whatever you have to say to them, and whatever the situation is, sugarcoat it because you think you're going to offend them. That should not be the thing, your driving thing, for each decision that you make is, will this offend someone else? Yes, be considerate, but at the same time...
But even still...
Come on.
So what if you're offended?
We're an adult.
So what? Be an adult and move on with your life. There's no point in staying offended. Yeah, it sucked to hear. Yeah, you shouldn't have said it, but it was said, so just move on. There's no point in sitting there and lingering in that offended moment.
Imagine, okay, this is something that, I was just looking at. Imagine the number of intelligent or illiterate, whatever you want to call them. Imagine the amount of intelligent or illiterate conversations that do not happen. Imagine the dialogue that does not get created, the dialogue that does not happen ultimately because somebody's afraid of offending someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, there are probably really intelligent people out there that have a great mind and they have great opinions. Obviously, they're not any less of a person for having those opinions, but there's value to be gained from every conversation, from every instance. Whether it's negative or positive, it's still value added.
I'm not saying value is still added, negative or positive, but it's just the fact of staying in an offended state. Like, for some reason, people feel the need to want to be offended.
Oh, and they'll hold on to it. Yeah, they hold on to it. Days, hours.
It's not like it's like worse than keeping a grudge. Because keeping a grudge over something or somebody over time, it kind of goes away. But offended, it stays there. Because once I offend you, that one moment, that one thing, and then you hold on to that offense, no matter what I say from here on out is offensive, or you're offended because of it. Like you're offended by me. For whatever reason. Because you got butt hurt about one thing, now you're just automatically offended.
If you're following us on Facebook or Twitter right now, you'll see that we posted up something earlier, and it's actually a view from the outside. This is a view from an Australian. Yeah, and there was actually some valid points made. It was a very small excerpt, and there were several responses to the general question. This one in particular really did catch my eye, and I think we both agreed on this. It's one of the things that was talked about in this one was a theory that America is a country that likes to be dominant, and we're I guess a dominant country.
I mean, to be honest, once I read that, I just like America. That was it.
America.
That's all I thought.
A cheeseburger in your hand, and
cheeseburger in your hand, beer in the other hand,
and a big ass American flag in your butt crack.
Fireworks going off behind you. America.
And a big ass cigar. Okay, with
and
some sunglasses.
And I pictured a mullet.
Yeah,
whoever's doing is a mullet. Mullet, just America.
America.
As rednecks you can possibly imagine.
Why did I just pictured Johnny Bravo for a second? America.
No, not picture America. I pictured Joe Dirt.
Oh, okay. Joe Dirt, except for the flannel, the plaid flannel should be like American flag flannel.
No,
with the cut off sleeves.
Plaid is American. Plaid is American.
Lumberjack.
Ridiculous.
Okay. So this Australian has a theory, and it pertains to America being a dominant country. So, well, quote unquote dominant. America believes that they're a dominant country. So, I'm going to read a part of this excerpt, and if you want to find this, you can go to our Facebook page or Twitter page. We have it posted up here for you to read yourself. But as this theory goes, America is a country that likes to dominate militarily, economically, socially, etc. And this can be played out in social settings. Being offended over anything small is a form of dominance over someone else if you conform to their demands as well as to conform to their individual standards. So, essentially, that's what it is. We're trying to conform to what everyone else likes and what everybody else thinks is correct or normal or, I guess,
their version of normal.
Right. It's like, and I get the whole treat others how you want to be treated, but quite frankly, I like honesty.
Yeah.
I like honesty and I like respect, and I believe that you can find respect and honesty through each other.
You can easily respect somebody and be honest with them.
That's how we do.
Very easily. And again, I'm more than sure I've offended you at some point.
Absolutely.
In some degree, and vice versa. But we're still friends. We're still have conversation.
We use them to start dialogue.
Yeah.
Anytime we're offended, or it's not necessarily, I don't get offended about it. Sometimes I might feel a little bit
just a little
butthurt, but
butthurt.
at the same time, I understand it's from someone else's point of view, someone else's opinion. And in your case, I do respect you a lot, so I'm not going to devalue you as a person for your opinion. And because sometimes I can see into that. However, we have our disagreements, things that we just completely disagree on. That's cool, though.
But even first and foremost, I'm always going to respect you as a person, no matter what
Doesn't
your
make you any less of a
opinion
person.
is. Like, that's the first step to any of our conversations. I respect you as a person.
Yep.
No matter what your opinion may be after the fact, I'm always going to respect you. Yep. So in return, I respect your opinion. No matter how much I disagree with it, I respect it.
Yep. And that's what America's that's what a lot of America is really missing today. Everybody believes that just because someone else has a difference of opinion that they're a bad guy.
Or they don't respect
they have
them.
a label.
Yeah. Or they're devaluing you.
Right. And what was this? I can't remember where we found it earlier. We were talking about this earlier today, and it was something along the lines of labeling. When somebody feels like when somebody gets offended about something, conversationally, or through someone else's actions or opinions, they like to throw a label on it.
Yeah.
Immediately before, trying to analyze it logically and trying to, try and what's the word? Rationalize. Trying to rationalize it in their head that that is your favorite word. You're using that a lot earlier. They try to, instead of trying to rationalize that in their head, they are so quick to throw a label on it because they disagree with it, and so they've labeled Chris as sexist, racist, homophobic, misogynistic bastard.
I'm not.
I mean, no, he's not by no means. But because of an opinion that he may have, without them actually having that conversation with him, and having the desire to be a rational human being and being an adult about it, in my opinion, they immediately label him for what it is.
That's the biggest problem with labels, though. It eliminates conversation. I read something somewhere.
Same thing. We were talking about it today.
I think we read the same thing somewhere that you create the label to end the conversation.
Right. Yeah. And
the moment I say something you get offended by, oh, you're a racist, I'm not going to talk to you no more. I mean, whether I'm a racist or not, you should be able to
still have a conversation
with me and debate with me my side to that. Mm-hmm. Because you never know, you might prove a point that, granted, highly unlikely.
It's highly unlikely.
But you might be able to prove a point to where I realize that I'm wrong. But it's actually very likely that you can change somebody over through conversation, through dialogue. I forgot the name of the documentary or special on Netflix about the black KKK member.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he basically befriends Klansmen.
He gets into he's literally the first African American inducted.
He's literally friends with the Klansmen, and he's converted many of them to leave the Klan just through simple, rational dialogue, conversation.
Yep.
Not saying, "Oh, you're a racist. I'm not going to talk to you." No, he said, "Well, I want to know where you're coming from. I want to know why you're."
What
racist.
about me? What about me? Do you hate? What about me? It does not. It's not right.
Yeah.
Either way, whatever the setting. In this case, it's black and white KKK and black man. So, I mean, and that goes along with anything. There are so many different people in this world, and I'm cool for diversity. I'm all for diversity, and I'm not afraid to say it. I support LGBTQ rights. I support sex equality or gender equality. So, I there's a lot of things that I support personally, and I feel like that whenever I meet somebody that is opposed to that or does not support that, it's either I'm going to have a conversation and intelligent dialogue with them, but if they decide that they don't want that, I'm always going to strive for that. If they decide they don't want that, I'll just exit the conversation before they have a reason to put me in a box.
But my whole thing with that whole situation is,
me.
why does anybody care enough about your sexuality, your lifestyle, anything, to not want to be around you? Why do you care that much?
Right.
I support the whole community.
You miss out on some excellent people.
I do. I support the whole community solely because I don't care what you do in your spare time.
That's your life.
That's your life. That's your lifestyle. That's not changing what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm going to change how I have a conversation with you. It won't. I'm going to still have the same respectful conversation with you as a person as I would with somebody that I agree with or disagree with or like or don't like. It won't change anything.
A personal preference is not a person's intelligent level or is not how a person treats others.
Yeah.
There's terminology for it, but you can't treat everyone based on a superficial understanding of them.
Yeah. Like right now, I have several gay friends. I have trans friends. I truly don't care. That has nothing to do with me.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
It
shouldn't matter. And, obviously, there are a lot of people out there that's like, oh, okay, well, God this, God that. Okay, that's cool. We all believe in some form of God.
Yeah,
okay?
but
period.
even then,
but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. As a person, as a human being, leave religion to the side for a minute. As a human being, do you not feel as if you should give that person a chance to show you, what kind of person they are? Are they intelligent? Are they kind? Are they caring? Do they treat people, with human decency?
But even then, any majorly respected religion always preaches love and respect first. Any respected major religion it does. It does.
Yeah. So, yeah. There's a lot more, and
granted, yeah, there's
stay
always
tuned for future episodes for bigger, more controversial conversations.
But yeah,
we're gonna really get into those later.
But just going back to the offendedness, and a lot of the offended comes from religious communities.
Yeah,
and I get it. I understand it's against your religion. Mm-hmm. I understand that.
Mainly Southern religion too, if you notice.
A lot of Southern religion.
Yeah,
or
Southern Baptist,
people.
Southern Christian. No offense to anybody. Shout out, but
shout out to all my
shout out to all my
religious people.
Yeah, I love you guys. I love everyone else as well. But the fact of the matter is that it's a statistic. You see it statistically. More so in Southern, Baptist, Southern religion, Christianity.
Yeah.
So, that aside, though, it comes back around to the whole people wanting to put a label immediately on something they don't understand.
Yeah.
And it's bullshit, and I think that everyone deserves a chance to show you who they are. So, let me just say this, and I hope you find it offensive. If you are the type of person that does not give someone the chance to show you who they can be and who the kind of people that they are, you're a piece of shit. So I'm just saying, with love, you're a piece of shit. Because nobody does not deserve a first chance.
Yeah. I've always hated this phrase. I still hate it. I hate hearing it. Respect is earned, never given. I hate that phrase so much.
Oh, benefit of doubt, man.
Because no, you give respect to get it. You can't demand respect from somebody you never met, you never encountered.
They're not going to demand respect from you.
No, you give the respect you expect back.
It's a mutual. It's that initial mutual respect that is necessary for you to build, a greater respect for each other.
Like my dad ingrained that into me for the longest. No, you met them. You respect them. If they don't respect you back, then you handle it accordingly.
Then you don't respect their ass.
But you always give the respect you expect to receive.
Yeah. Don't expect something for nothing.
So because if you initiate the respect, no matter if you're offended by what they have to say after the fact, all that is irrelevant. You respected them as a person, and they, in return, should respect you. But nowadays, nobody wants to give that respect. They just want to be respected. And then once they feel like they've been disrespected or they're offended, now they're done with the conversation. They're over the whole thing. And it bothers me just seeing, like, for a long time I got off social media because of it. I literally just almost canceled my social media for the sheer fact of people being offended constantly.
Yeah.
Every time you scroll through Facebook, you see some new offense.
Oh, no, yeah.
Something new to be
petty little remark to somebody that, this person looked at my kid wrong, or this person said something sly.
I've gone on social media before and poked the bear.
Everybody, hold on. Everybody's guilty of that shit.
Yeah, just go up there.
Poke the fucking bear.
Throw a comment up there to see how offended somebody can get. Yeah, I've done it. I probably would still do it, to be honest.
I think, but once you get to a certain age, you start realizing it's like, you can find more faults in it as you get older, and so you kind of recognize it a lot faster when you're doing it. So you're like, this is petty bullshit. I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, so it's just it bothers me.
Okay, so like we're talking about offended America, you know, no offense to all of our young people out there, but it seems to be a trend, and it's not exclusive to a specific group. So it's not exclusive to a specific group, but you know, I think in today's society, the younger crowds gets accused of it more often than not. But the whole idea of I deserve something, I deserve for you to treat me like you know, a good person. I deserve for you to give me a job. I deserve to have that pay raise every time I do something good. I deserve to have a pat on the back. You know, that is something that
the participation ribbon proud of people.
And you know what? A slight conspiracy theory here, Shane Dawson. Thank you. If you look from the time, you know, kids are young, you know, from the time that they're in diapers to the time that they're through their teens and so on and so forth, they're almost groomed right out the gate to be rewarded for certain things. To be rewarded for every time they complete something, every time they finish something, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that, you know, there's not some type of incentive that could be provided on a minimal scale to entice youngins or anybody, you know, developing, to entice them to do well. And so you know, it starts to it became relevant to me actually today at lunch. Today at lunch I thought about something, and I don't know why I thought about it. You know, we were talking about the segments and video games. I don't know why we were talking about it at lunch. We were talking about we were actually talking about the the Jussie Smollett case going on right now. And for whatever reason, I thought about video games. If you think about video games, and I'm not bashing video games by any means. Video games are an awesome outlet, I think. Yeah, they're amazing.
They're amazing.
My brother is a huge gamer. I think he's probably the biggest gamer I know.
Shout out to Anthem.
Who's Anthem?
Anthem. It's a game that just came out this year.
Okay. Well, see, that tells you something about me. I don't play video games that much. But from the time that a child or any individual starts playing video games, each time that they complete, you know, a section of the game, they're rewarded with something, or they have a nice little pat on the back, you know, by the game. And obviously that's how the game works, and that's how they entice people to stay involved in the video games and stuff like that. So not knocking how it is, but if you think about it from that young age, that whoever is on the video game starts on it, they're being groomed to say, okay, I deserve something in return for my efforts. I deserve something in return for doing my job.
Yeah.
No, what you deserve is to keep your job
and your paycheck.
That's
about it.
That's it. You don't deserve anything else other than that. It doesn't make any sense to, you know, expect a pat on the back, expect a handout every time you do your job like you're supposed to do your job. Now, do I believe in merit raises and merit recognition, stuff like that? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you're going above and beyond what you're supposed to do,
recognize.
But doing your job with a basic minimum of your job doesn't reward you.
You
pat on the back.
Stop expecting shit to be given to you.
I mean, I would say partially video games, yes, but no, also video games have been around for a long, long time.
Check out the generations.
You know. But I would say that's more of for me, it's more of a school thing. Because,
okay. Yeah,
because being in schools, it was always did you bring enough for everybody?
Yep.
Hey, don't do that. You're being a sort winner.
First place, second place, third place, fourth runner-up, fifth runner-up, second. You know,
participation ribbons or trophies. Everybody gets to win. Like how nowadays in a lot of little leagues, they don't score.
Everyone wins.
Everyone wins. It's like no. I kept track. My son's team
We won.
scored more points than yours.
We won.
There is no we all win. No, y'all lost. Get over it.
And fundamentally,
Don't be offended.
The idea
Get
of
over
winning is, sometimes people can take offense to it. There are some people that cannot participate in certain things, and therefore they become butthurt and offended that they don't have anything for their child, that maybe their development is really slow, or maybe it's for whatever reason.
I call bullshit on that.
Okay, do you?
I do, because I've seen kids in wheelchairs play baseball.
Okay, yeah,
Granted, they can't run around the bases, but they're still playing the game.
It's not to say that those parents, it's not to say that they're wrong for not being included in whatever that is, but the parents that are being offended, if you want to affect change, make change happen, create something.
There's Special Olympics.
There's Special Olympics. There are programs for people that are developmentally challenged or handicapped in some way, and so you have something for everyone to participate in at some point or another.
And if there isn't something, create it.
Right.
Don't just be butthurt and offended.
Lead the frontier on something new.
Don't make the school change what they already have in place. Advise and bring something to the school. Hey, my son has cerebral palsy. He can't play soccer the way you got to play soccer. Here's a better idea. I saw other schools doing this before. Maybe you can do this.
But grooming your kids, grooming your children, and instilling in them that young age that no matter what they do, they should always earn everything that they do, even if they're doing it terribly. They still earn something. That's incorrect. And when you get in the real world, that's not preparing your children to get into the real world. In the real world, when you don't do your job, when you sit on your ass and you don't do shit like you're supposed to, guess what? You get written up, you get fired, you are rightfully, disciplined? You're rightfully disciplined, and then they get offended. Oh, I'm going to call corporate. I'm going to call...
I'm going to write a letter.
Human resources, I'm going to write a letter.
Let me speak to your manager.
Right. It's like, no, you need to sit the hell down, do your job, or there's the door. You can quit at any time. If it's too much pressure for you, this obviously isn't the job for you. There's a job, I completely believe there's a job for everyone out there.
Yeah, there is.
Period. There's always going to be a job for every single person and every single character out there. It's up to you to find it.
And not even that. I'll go further than that. There's always a job that needs to be done.
Yeah.
So you can do that job. There's always a job that needs to be done. No matter what. So get it done.
So I think we could actually create a whole segment on this. Probably a whole episode that veers around the idea of self-entitlement.
Offended for everything. But self-entitlement comes from being offended.
Exactly. And
or vice versa.
You get offended because you get reprimanded for not doing something you're supposed to do, because at such a young age you were told that you're supposed to get a pat on the back for anything you do.
No matter what it was.
Right.
I remember constantly my dad just knocking it out of my head real quick. He'll have me, because he owns his own business, I'll get home from school, still in my school uniform. He'll be like, all right, well, go out there and help them. I'm in a school uniform, slacks, button-down shirt, carrying shingles up a sketchy ladder. I say sketchy, but it's a ladder.
Sketchy ladder.
A ladder to help
every ladder
his employees lay down shingles on the roof while I'm in my school uniform. Like,
no, I didn't have school uniform.
If that doesn't scream, you're not entitled to anything. I'm the boss's son in my uniform, working just as hard as the employees.
And you know what? And honestly, one of the things that got me about it is that you were probably, how old were you? Like,
at the time, 15, 16, at the oldest 17.
I don't know about you. For me, I know when I was a little bit younger, probably like, I want to say I was maybe between 8 and 13. I'm not sure exactly how old I was. My mom's, she was working with contractors. She was building houses and stuff. And one of the things that she did was she laid sod. And I liked doing it at the time. Obviously, I've tried it since. It's absolutely terrible.
I hate it.
But I loved being involved at such an early age. It kind of helped. I don't know how my brother felt about it, but it helped me feel like I was actually accomplishing something. And then I learned that if you work hard, and from seeing her and how she worked, and the the variety of things that she did, I learned at a young age and was able to kind of perpetuate that in my own career advancement. That you work hard, you may or may not get rewarded, but you have to accept the fact that you might not. For me, luckily, I took a lot of falls before I took some gains.
Yeah.
To get where
Everybody
I am.
does.
Everybody does.
There's no...
But if you take that fall without learning from it because you think that it's owed to you,
but yeah, there's no
you're
true
not gonna
success
advance.
story without failure.
Exactly.
There isn't.
Look at anybody out there right now. You've got Oprah Winfrey. Look at Oprah Winfrey. I mean, we're not going to get on Oprah Winfrey, but you got Oprah Winfrey. You have J.K. Rowling. The conspiracies that go around her are insane, by the way. You have these multi-million and billion-dollar successful individuals that they took massive falls. They were in dark areas before they became these amazing, successful creatures that
I can promise
everyone
you,
knows.
if they would have got offended by everything,
they would not
they
be
would
where they
not
were.
be as successful as they are.
Yeah.
There's just no way. There's no way you can become that level of successful while also being offended by everything. It's just not going to happen. There's no way of doing it.
But you know what? I'm gonna let you take this next thing. Something that we've been watching, and this is really relevant. This is a very, 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 very current event. As a matter of fact,
Like very today current.
Yeah, we actually finished our notes and stuff. I think after lunch, sometime after lunch, when more information was provided today. I think I'll let you lead on this one if you want.
Well, I mean, it proves the point of what we were saying before about entitlements.
Entitlements.
Like the what's his name? Jesse Smollett.
Yeah, Jussie Smollett. Yeah.
Yeah, Smollett. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't watch the show.
In case you don't know who Jussie Smollett is, Jussie Smollett is one of the main characters on Empire. He plays the son who is also LGBTQ. In real life, he's also an LGBTQ individual and activist, music creator, whatever. But go check out Empire if you're not sure or familiar with him, or Google him. But go ahead.
Yeah, basically, just going back to the entitlement and the offended. He was offended that he wasn't getting paid enough, so he decided to fake hoax, racist, gay bashing, however you want to phrase it. Yeah. He hoaxed some foolishness.
Oh, well, hold on. The letter first.
Oh yeah, the letter that happened
first.
The week before he got attacked. He supposedly got attacked on the 29th.
So it was like the 21st, 22nd of January.
And like the week before the attack, there was supposedly... Well, not supposedly.
No, there was.
Yeah, he had a letter sent to the
studio.
Yeah. That had like... It was
crushed
to him.
Up aspirin or
crushed
Tylenol.
Up aspirin, Tylenol. It was crushed up regular off-the-counter pills.
And it was ridiculous. And
then a week later, he hoaxes an actual attack. All to boost his profile to, get paid more because he felt like he deserved to get paid more. And it's like, no, I mean, I don't watch the show. I'm assuming he's relatively popular on the show. Because Fox came out and said that they were never, getting rid of him. So...
Well, they didn't say that they weren't.
I thought they came out and said that they weren't planning on writing him out of the season. Out of the episode. Or
I'm not really sure exactly what they're doing because they're only filming. They're on the last episode of the final season or this most recent season that they're working on. So they're still waiting to determine, I guess, exactly what they want to do with him. They're still deliberating, and just in case anybody wants the information or wants to know what was in the letter. We are going to post it up. I'm also about to read a little bit about it. The note was crafted with letters apparently cut out from magazines to form words. The pieced together message contained racial and homophobic threats directed at Smollett. Magazine is one of the pieces of evidence retrieved from the brothers' home last week during a search conducted by CPD. The brothers they're referring to are, quote unquote, the brothers attacked.
The guys,
quote unquote,
the guys who he supposedly paid to have.
And at this point, it's no longer supposed. He actually paid him $3,500. First off, $3,500.
I'm about to say, I would have at least asked for even 5. Like, come on now.
Like, you are risking your freedom for $3,500. I'm sorry.
But to be honest,
I don't care how well I know you.
Honest,
I'm not going
we
to do
don't
that.
know how the conversation went. So it could have been presented to them as just a simple, hey, let's make this, this video clip to post to Facebook or Instagram to get me more popular.
Oh, and the worst part about it is they rehearsed this.
That's what I'm saying.
They
like,
rehearsed it
rehearsed.
in actual. It's insane.
So maybe it was presented to them differently. So I gotta give them the benefit of the doubt. Granted, they're still stupid for doing it. And by the way, Jesse, piece of shit. Just put that out there. Piece of shit. I mean,
just so everyone knows, that was literally Chris's very first thing to say about this man.
Notes, yeah,
it's amazing.
Piece of shit. I'm sorry.
Agreed.
I can't. If you feel the need, if you feel entitled enough to you deserve anything, to where you fake, you fake a gay bashing, a racial bashing, an attack,
a threat.
If you fake anything of that magnitude that puts people to work, as in cops putting in countless hours of investigation, you creating racial and homophobic tension between people that is already there and is slightly dying down, so don't ramp it up some more.
Yeah, that's all that did. And FYI, just for you that just for those of you that aren't really sure why they did the crushed Tylenol, I'm sure the majority of you do. I think for all of us, anyways, in our age group, we're still familiar with the whole anthrax scares back when around 9/11 time. But it was supposed to simulate like an anthrax scare.
I'm not saying the person was mailing anthrax to people.
So yeah, that's kind of what that was. And if you don't know what anthrax is, I would suggest you not Google it.
Yeah,
if you do, just ask what was anthrax in relation to like 9/11. NSA might be out there to get you. Just saying. Ultimately, though, the way that this came about, Jussie Smollett, he's an activist in the LGBTQ community, and I hate the fact that he did this, because you have actual victims out there, and if just in case any of you want to learn more about this, if you YouTube Good Morning America Jussie Smollett interview, it's going to show
that shit show.
Yeah, that shit show. You will see everything that we're talking about and exactly why we feel the way that we feel. And if you form a different opinion, we would love to hear your opinions on this.
If you have an opinion
absolutely
other
post your
than
opinions.
Him being a piece of shit, I would love to hear it.
Yeah, because I want to hear different sides of this. And if you think that you want to defend him, show us why you want to defend him. Tell us about it. We love intelligent conversation and a little bit of a challenge.
But I can prove why he's a piece of shit with facts.
Well,
so don't try to argue your feelings.
No, put him on there. Put him on there.
He was a good actor. I don't care how good of an actor he was. He's a piece of shit. I don't care how good of a voice
Conspiracy
he has.
theory.
Go for it.
I'm wondering if Fox super paid him to do this so that they could boost their own Empire ratings. I'm not sure. That's just a quick conspiracy theory. This is not a conspiracy theory channel.
I don't think it happened.
Chris doesn't think that.
I don't think Fox paid him.
Screw Chris's opinion on that.
I mean, fuck your opinion. I don't think they paid him, because what would they gain from that?
They would gain ratings.
They're losing ratings on the TV show.
Well, hold on, no. They would gain ratings if it hadn't went to shit. If he hadn't been caught, that would have been a stupid, amazing ratings booster.
Fox. It's Fox.
It is Fox. Fox is like Illuminati style.
If they're gonna put money into
Illuminati
a hoax,
level.
they're gonna put money into a hoax.
They would put much more effort into it.
It's gonna be they're gonna find some rednecks from Alabama. For some reason, they're in Chicago at sub-zero temperature.
Fox.
And
what was it? Negative. Hold on. What was the temperature? Negative 20.
I kept hearing different
degrees,
things.
negative
It
30.
was between negative 20 and negative 30. I know that much.
It was extremely cold, and the likelihood that anybody is out in that kind of weather at 2:00, 2 something in the morning.
The chances of, because he was saying that they were Trump supporters. Any chance that a racist, homophobic Trump supporter is going to be in Chicago for first and foremost in sub-zero temperature? To hell with the actual number. It's sub-zero.
Yeah, period. Sub-zero. You get me in the weather at if I'm in 29 to 33 degree weather, I'm gonna be super bundled up and barely moving. Just saying. And I will not be outside if I don't absolutely have to be.
But yeah. You found the unicorn of unicorns.
Yeah, right.
A homophobic, racist Trump supporter in Chicago, one of the most liberal cities you can be.
Wait a minute, and they happen to be African American.
No, not even that. That's like they said you don't even know
Wait a minute,
race.
that goes back to the whole label thing, though.
But yeah.
They happen to be African American, so.
But he was saying that they were screaming.
He's got all
kinds of gay slurs and racial slurs while saying, "This is MAGA country."
Yeah, this is MAGA country.
Yeah, pretty much prove that they're quote unquote Trump supporters.
You know what?
And it's like you found the unicorn of unicorns. They're in a liberal city in sub-zero temperature at 2 a.m.
Well,
every Trump supporter that I know,
somebody posted up,
is blue collar and they're working. No one either they're
is up at 2 o'clock in the morning in sub-zero degree temperature,
carrying bleach in a noose,
in a rope, a white rope, bleach,
and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, supposedly they
did. People were saying that Jussie said something about them having MAGA hats, but in the Good Morning America interview, he did come back and say that he did not actually say anything about MAGA hats. That's irrelevant, but I mean, it just had to fuel to the fire initially.
In the interview, he said they screamed MAGA country. This is MAGA country.
Yeah, he did say that, and he continues to say that MAGA country. If you take a look, I guarantee if you do a Google search on MAGA country, the only thing that's going to come up for MAGA country, or this is MAGA country, is going to be that interview. Period.
But he was saying that they recognized him from the TV show because
they called him Empire.
They called it Empire first. I'm like,
yeah.
I mean,
come the hell on, really?
I'm 26, African American, black, whatever you want to call me.
Everything that he talked about was like, did you? I know you listened to the interview as well. So everything that he talked about in that interview, everything added up way too easy. It was too perfect.
But
that was the problem.
Perfect. That's the thing. It wasn't perfect.
This is what I'm referring to. Everything was too perfect as far as everything else except for one thing. The one thing.
Several things.
No. The one thing that has caused this investigation to go to shit, for him, like actually turning on him. These are the things that were perfect about it. He went out for food at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2-something in the morning. He was going to Subway 24/7. I'll give him that. If I'm drunk or if I've been drinking, or if I'm just like really hungry in the middle of the night, I'll go to Subway or go to somewhere that's 24 hours. That's cool. He texted his manager at 2 o'clock in the morning.
No.
And then his manager called him because he asked his manager to call him.
Yeah.
Then his manager called him. Brandon called him. And
before the attack. He was on the phone with him during the attack.
Right. He was on the phone with his manager. Then he heard Empire yelled from behind him and some other slurs, that went on to talk about his.
Yeah, it was
those labels.
The racial slur for gays, the F word, and the N word with the hard ER at the back of it.
Yeah, we do not endorse that word here, by the way. Just saying.
I don't.
He was being beaten while apparently he had a chance to put his phone in his pocket.
No. From what?
Because he pulled his phone out of his pocket after the guys went away from him. And then he said he pulled it out of his pocket where his uncle was still on the phone and was talking to his uncle again.
I mean, since we already know it's all bullshit.
Yeah, right. There's major inconsistency.
Yeah, there's so many holes in the story.
But this is all on the Good Morning America interview. So if you watch the interview, just keep an open mind and look for these things. Now that we know that he's a piece of shit, that he hoaxed it all, this all hoax, stage. The one thing that I was talking about that was, I guess, pretty much the thing that caused the major shift in his entire story was the camera just so happened to be facing north, and did not catch any of the actual action, which is what he was relying on. I believe this is theory, by the way. I believe he was relying on that to solidify the actual assault, quote unquote assault. Because
you can't argue with video.
Right, video is hard evidence, and then they probably wouldn't have even looked into it that much harder if they would have gotten the guys' faces.
But for me, the moment I knew he was full of shit and a piece of shit was, I've been at several fights. I've seen fights. And if you see the pictures of the little bitty scratch he got on his face, there's no way that some racist homophobes just gave you a little scratch on your face. I don't care how much you fight back. 2 against 1, if you don't have some prior Jason Bourne training, It's gonna
some Jason Bourne training.
You're gonna see that you got into an actual fight, not somebody smacked you.
And also, we are updating our after this is aired, and once you've heard it, you can go to our Facebook and our Twitter, and we're gonna put pictures up. I'm gonna put pictures up of him being booked because I believe that he should be embarrassed at this point of himself and his notoriety. I do not believe that he should have any more fame about from this.
I will give him this. He has a decent mugshot.
He did have. I was
it's a
actually
decent
looking
mugshot.
at-
I mean, some mugshots.
Well, he's a good looking, attractive young man. So yeah,
But
it's
even
gonna
still.
be okay. But also, I'm gonna be posting up the scratch on his face
the little
that came
bitty
from the
mark underneath.
mugging, the hate crime. I'm sorry. Also, victims don't talk the way that he talked. I know victims, and he's not a true victim in this
in the
instance.
Good Morning America interview, he said truth like 7-8 times.
You're talking about the first minute and a half?
He kept repeating truth.
Talk about it.
Like, I mean, if you're telling the truth, you're not going to reiterate the fact that you're telling the truth. It's, hey, this is what happened.
and this is
Flatline.
This is a guy that is supposed to be, because of his fame, he is supposed to be one of the people that kind of helps make it, supposed to help make a change and perpetuate change in, an already changing environment for the LGBTQ community. He was supposed to continue to perpetuate that on a platform. He does have a bigger platform to do that with.
He does have a pretty big platform.
The fact is that he used that in the wrong way, trying for greed, essentially. So what it boiled down to, his care and his concern for anyone else but himself, went away, and this is all greed driven. And my biggest problem with this is that now that you have this young man acting like a victim, you have true, real victims out there that it's probably going to make it harder for them, to go through and deal with their situation as a victim if they have a hate crime, or if they're victimized for whatever reason because of their orientation, color, or whatever label that we have decided to put on them. It's going to make it much harder for them in their own situations, and I think that was more than selfish.
Because they're going to look at it as though, well, maybe they won't believe me because there's been so many hoaxes.
Will they even come forward anymore?
There's an entire website dedicated to hoaxes. These fake hate crimes. Even though hate crimes are on the rise, there's constant fake ones. Actually, they are.
They're not.
Hate crimes are on the rise.
Are they?
Yes, they are. More specifically in New York City, but hate crimes are on the rise. Like, I think last year in New York City alone, there was like 150 hate crimes. Don't quote me on that, but close to that.
Right.
Like, hate crimes are on the rise. I will say that.
By the way, it's almost a visual thing. It's really hard to get hard evidence, but this isn't incorrect. Hate crimes, you're seeing a more popular, I guess, what's the word? They're more popularized, not popularized.
They're more known. They're more known due to social media and camera phones.
We have much more ways to see it now.
Yeah, like there's no way you can get away with a hate crime nowadays. Granted, you may not always get caught, but that crime will be known, especially if it's reported. There's no way to not circulate hate crime. But yeah, hate crimes are on the rise.
Yeah.
Now, to be more specific, they're on the rise for Jewish people, not necessarily African Americans or for gays, but hate crimes are on the rise. And the fact that they're on the rise, and the fact that you created this massive hoax, it just literally set back those real crimes even further, and any future crimes for them. It's you can't fake something that huge and that big and then get caught and then expect everything to just be normal. Now, granted, I firmly believe that if you do experience any type of hate crime, yes, come forward, report it to the police. The police should investigate it as such.
Easier said than done, obviously.
Of course, easier said than done, but
hopefully there are people out there that will still encourage victims of hate crimes to still,
of any magnitude.
Yeah, of any magnitude, and whatever that hate crime is, to come forward and say their story. Be a victim only once. Do not cause yourself to be a victim every day of the rest of your life. And I that's something that I really hope is not ingrained into you to be that victim for the rest of your life because of this, really step forward and know that you can find justice if it's something that is necessary. I guess in the situation.
I mean, to be honest, that is necessary, because not only is it necessary to report to get those assholes off the street, it's necessary to report so we can see the statistics of hate crimes on the rise to properly know how to combat them. You can't fight and stop or try to prevent something from happening that you don't know is happening. So if 13 hate crimes happen right now and they're never reported, they can't be put into a system.
Right, and then you have no real data.
You have no data to prove, hey, yeah, hate crimes are on the rise. Yeah. And now it's just by word.
And that's what I meant earlier, just in case any of you guys didn't know that. Earlier, whenever I was stating that it's really hard to have that hard data, it's because a lot of victims do not come forward. And because sadly...
because of stories like this, it's going to prevent even more victims from coming forward. Which it sucks to say. I wish it wasn't the case, but it's the reality of the situation. They're not going to come forward because they don't want to be looked at as the next Jesse.
Right. And it's just sad. It's sad that somebody of this magnitude, with this kind of influence and an active figure in the LGBTQ community to help bring justice and help combat hate.
Not even just the gay community or the LGBT.
In any community, yeah, okay.
The
let's
black community,
any
like
community,
you
because
said,
he also
he's a black man, and you literally just
race crimes are still on the rise as well. I mean, not necessarily as much, I don't think.
I mean, but that's besides the point.
The fact
they're
that
still happening.
Hate crime is a hate crime, and he's a double whammy.
He is.
He's got race and he's got orientation. And it just ultimately it goes back to the whole thing that Jussie Smollett is a piece of shit.
Jussie Smollett's a piece of shit.
Period.
I concur. But as
he's making it harder
he
for the
set
rest
back the black community, the gay community so far, just because dude, a lot of people were rooting for you. At a certain point throughout the whole month this was going on, you had two choices: either hope that a hate crime happened, or he's a lying piece of shit. It's a lose-lose situation.
I don't think anybody wanted to believe in the beginning that there was any kind of lie to it.
No one wanted to believe it. But
nobody wants to believe that.
For me, I thought he was full of shit from the beginning. But that's just me.
I didn't follow it all that much whenever it first happened. So
I mildly followed it. I kind of was like, I'll wait to see what happens.
Yeah. But the fact that he pursued it, though. I mean, he pursued and even complied, even though he gave
comply.
That. What is that? Hold on. The heavily redacted, super minimal phone records.
After he refused to give his phone, which
I understand the refusal of that because he is famous and he's got sensitive contacts. Or still, it's my information.
I'm not saying discrediting all the.
But in a situation
all the photos,
like that,
if you have photos like that, why are they not locked? Besides that, it's just the fact that I understand not giving up your phone. I get it. I do.
But I don't think I would be as weary in a situation like that though. Because in a situation like that, if it's true, I think I would want justice for myself and to stop.
And I mean, to be honest, you're not a big enough celebrity.
Yes, I am. What are you talking about?
To be like, oh no, you can't have my phone. I don't want you leaking my stuff. It's like
I'm gonna be picky.
It's like, you're like, no, because to be honest, at this point, back in the day, Jersey Shore is more popular than you are right now, in my opinion. Everybody knows about Jersey Shore.
Right.
Everybody.
You say Jussie Smollett's name, and people aren't familiar. Yes, there's a lot of people that know who he is.
Yeah, but if you say Pauly D, you know who I'm talking about.
You just said Pauly D.
I did say Pauly D. Oh, the situation.
We will never say Pauly. Oh, God.
Oh, the situation.
Oh, things are getting real in here.
Yes. But
disagreements are about to happen.
You can't throw a rock into a crowd and not find almost everybody who knows about Pauly D or the entire Jersey Shore cast.
Probably Jersey Shore.
To some degree. I did.
Okay, but that's true.
Jesse's a piece of shit.
That's true.
He's worse than Jersey Shore.
When you hear Jussie Smollett's name, you're not unless you're completely familiar with
unless
Empire
you know the TV show Empire.
which is where that's where he got a lot of his fame from. Yeah. Yes, he's a musician. Yes, he's a writer. Whatever.
Yeah, I think he was slightly famous before the show.
Really ingrained him into the famous society, I guess, famous community with Empire. But he's not even that famous.
But
so.
No, he's not that famous. He's
all right,
not.
Madonna.
You're not famous enough to be like, oh no, you can't have my phone. I have confidential stuff there. It's like,
yeah.
So does my
dude. You just got fucking attacked.
It's like so does Joe Blow. Who give me your phone so we can find out what's going on.
Yeah.
And then you give heavily redacted phone logs.
I'm sorry, but like, obviously he had to have known something was up from the fact that they wanted his phone information.
Well, no, they want his phone after he said he was on the phone with his manager during the attack. So if you're on the phone with your manager during the attack, you know, they're going to want to see your phone records. Then you give heavily redacted phone records after that. It's like, dude, come on. You're helping them out because once they subpoena your actual phone records, all they have to do is, okay, which number did he delete? Let's check this number. You know?
Ultimately, Jussie Smollett is a piece of shit. This is an insane scandal. I can't believe that this actually happened, and it set back a lot of the. It set everyone back a lot. We've really been working hard. A lot of the activists that are out there have been busting their asses to
bring
equality in. So
the
LGBTQ community.
Yeah, sorry for getting that wrong. And the black community so far back, it's not even funny. And all it did was reinforce the offended American stereotype.
Right.
That's all it did.
Over-entitled individuals, they're offended because their salary isn't exactly what they wanted it to be, but instead of actually being an adult about the damn thing and going and, hey, requesting a salary raise, if the salary's not met, you are under contract as Fox and they've got killer-ass contracts, cool. Fucking bite your tongue, deal with the contract that you signed with the fucking devil, and then get out of that shit as soon as it's up.
Or just, legitimately make yourself more popular.
Yeah, legitimately. Involve yourself more. Do the fucking work. Nothing is given to you for free. And I'm not saying that they have easy jobs. I'm not saying what they do is easy. But you want more? Do more. You earn it. It's not going to be given to you. And you should have been a damn fucking story writer. Yeah. Because that would have been a really cool plot twist, I think, on Empire. I mean, it would have been on a TV show, not in real life. This is real fucking life. You're affecting people's lives.
It would have been a nice TV show. I mean, if it's on Empire, I would have watched it, but still, it's just one of those, don't be a piece of shit.
Don't be a piece of shit.
Jesse, you're a piece of shit.
And America, stop being so fucking offended.
And that's like the main thing. The whole purpose behind this. He was offended that he wasn't getting more money. You just did the
mind blow?
Mind blown.
Chris just did mind blown hands. Just saying.
It's like, my mind is blown to how offended people are over every fucking thing. People are too offended to call bullshit when it first happened.
Yeah.
And it became this big offended story, and he's offended because he's not making enough money. Fuck Jesse.
Fuck Jesse. Yeah. Piece of shit. Yeah. So, you guys, thank y'all for listening. We're really going to close it out right about now because Jesse's got us feeling some type of way. We want to go eat dinner. I'm getting too mad. I think that we're going to probably, on a future date, maybe have more conversation on this particular instance, but maybe we'll bring up some other instances that
we'll bring up some other stuff. Yeah, but I need to stop. Jesse's pissing me off.
Yeah. So if you liked what you heard, make sure you like and share. We're on Twitter and Facebook at Blurred Boundaries Podcast. You can also go to blurredboundariespodcast.com. There you'll be able to see all of our social media links. You'll also be able to have links to everywhere you can listen to our podcast at. Share with your friends, share with your family, anybody that wants to be offended on a regular. If you want to hear something that challenges you, definitely get involved. Send in your questions, send in suggestions. If you want to make comments, if you want to add to this, go ahead. Remember, you could be a shout out in one of our podcasts if we use your topic, and we could possibly even have you on the show with us to hear your opinions.
You know what? Jesse's offended me.